Today we will need a pencil, an eraser, a marker if you want to trace out around the pencil lines, and something to color with, and I've got my colored pencils with me today, but you can use markers, you can use crayons, you can even use paint if you want, or you can just draw along and you don't have to color them at all. Use the 1, so I'll pretend like I just drew the number 1 there so you can follow along. And we're going to draw a fish. So we're going to make a triangle first to make the tail. Right. Then I'm going to make a teardrop shape. Now you can make a circle, oval, whatever works for you to make the fish. Now, of course, fish have fins, so there's one on the top. I'm just going to draw that there and another fin on the bottom. Now fish have gills, so we're going to put a line here, which would be, now the gills in real life don't go all the way up. They're about right here, but we're just going to draw that all the way up just to make it easier. And there's another fin, of course, on the side. I'm going to make it a triangle, open face triangle, so you don't have to do the full triangle, but you can if you want. And of course, fishy has to have an eye. I'm just going to fill in the bottom. So I made one circle, then basically a smaller circle to fill in. And this fishy is happy, so he's going to be smiling. He's going to blow some bubbles. So I'm just going to make some round circles for the bubbles. So that's the quick and easy little fishy, all starting back here with the number 1 at the end of his tail. Trace back over it as if I just drew it like you're going to do. Now, I learned how to do the swan from a number 2 many years ago. My father actually showed me how to make some, they weren't all animals, but make some drawings from different numbers. The first thing I'm going to do is actually make the beak of the swan. So I'm going to make a little triangle right at the end of the top of the 2. Then I'm going to trace almost the exact same line to make the neck of the swan, going down just inside of where I drew the actual neck of the number 2. Then I'm going to put a little triangle on the end, or again an open face triangle at the end of the tail of the 2, which is the tail of the swan. And to finish off the swan, we are just going to draw a U shape connecting the tail to where the base of the neck was. Sorry about that, I didn't have the paper up far enough, but you can see what I've got drawn there now. So we are going to put the eye in next. And of course, the swan has a wing on his side there. And this one's going to be a pretty, it's either a king or a queen or a prince or a princess swan. And go put a crown on the swan, just to be different, just to make a little bit more cute. Of course, we usually see swans swimming on a pond or a lake. So I'm going to put in some squiggly lines on either side, and that's the surface of the water. And then I'll just do another couple of squiggly lines underneath to kind of look like waves in the water. So the next step is to make the head, which is just a big circle that attaches somewhere up at the very top of the first part of the three. Then I'm going to make the back, so I'm going to go from the point where the circle touches down to the end of the three. Go a bit further down and make a U, and then follow along back up to the head. Of course, the butterflies have two sets of wings, but the butterfly is sideways, so I'm just going to put almost a little bit more than half of a U shape on top of the existing three to indicate the second pair of wings that are behind this first one, which is made from the three. Of course, butterflies have lovely little antennae. Pair of those. You can make them straight if you want, or you can make them a little curly with the little dots on the end. And I just did 3 little lines in the body just to give the body something with a little bit of definition, so we're just going to color it in. And now I'm going to make some shapes on the wings, because of course most butterfly wings are very colorful and have different patterns going on. So I'm just going to make a U here and another U here. And the little butterfly also has to have a face and some eyes. So there's the 2 eyes and a big smiley mouth again. Because butterflies have to be happy because they're fluttering around, bringing us joy from looking at their pretty little designs. Starting off with the number 4, we're going to make a cute little mouse. So I'm going to take my pencil and we're going to make 2 U shapes to create the mouse's ears. So one here and another one there. So that's the ears. Now you can make a big circle is what we're going to do, but it can be an oval, so whatever shape you'd like. I did a circle on the demonstration one. I'm going to do a little bit more of an ovally shape this time. It's going to look more like even the mouse that you use for your computer. And that's the mouse's body. And of course, mice have cute little tails, so I'm just going to do little tail, like a little S shape that goes in and out on the back end of the mouse. And of course, no mouse would be complete without a face. 2 little eyes. And I'm going to use the legs of the 4 as part of the whiskers. So I'm just going to draw more whiskers. And there we have our cute little mouse. Now the 4 has disappeared, so I'm going to do everything in marker, but I'm going to put the 4 back first so that we can see where our 4 is. The penguin is made from the number 5. We are going to start with the beak. So we're going to make a triangle. Bottom part of the beak, top part of the beak. And then I'm just going to extend that line up. Now penguins are black and white, and around their face and eye it is white, and their belly is white. So we're going to draw some lines to distinguish between the face and the rest of the body there. So we're going to make a C shape that starts at the top of that 5 and goes to the bottom of that straight line here on the 5. So that's the penguin's face. And we know that's the penguin's face, so we're going to put an eye in there and put an eyeball. Now it's looking like a penguin, and we haven't really done much else. At least it looks like a bird anyway, some sort of bird. But it's going to be a penguin. So the body out front is white. So we have to make a wing first. And we have to make the rest of the head and the body. So the easiest way to do this is to extend the tail of your 5. And notice I'm just drawing little short strokes out to make this little curved line, and that's where the end of his tail is going to be. And that gives me a target for when I start to draw from his head down his back to his tail. So I'm going to do, it's almost like the number 2. You're doing that loop up here and then out and join up with the tail. And we got to do the wing, which is from the bottom of the face, just like a U shape, but not connecting all the way back up. So I'm going to give him a couple little penguin feet, which are just 2 W's. Now the part that I really liked, which was making the ice that he was standing on. So I'm just going to make a shape like that, kind of an S and then straight across, and then kind of an S-like curvy shape at the back. And I'll move this up a little bit more. And just so that we know it's not just a rug or something like that, we're going to just do some little lines down from wherever your S's are. You may have more. We're going to make a cute little snail out of the number 6. We're going to do the snail's shell first. So we're going to do a big circle starting at the top of the number 6, the big arm that sticks out. So we're just going to do a big circle all the way around, connecting back. Then I'm going to make little arms that kind of come out that look kind of like that arm of the 6. So divides that up into some different sections that we get to color. And apparently my Facebook page went down on my computer, but I seem to still be running, so we should be good. Except I've got a puppy who's getting a little impatient because it's almost time for his TREAT, and he knows how to spell that too, so I have to say it quietly. Now we're going to make the snail. So we're going to start with his head. I'm going to do the head over here. I have to remember I'm working backwards from what I originally did. And make his foot, because his foot comes out front. And then there's his tail that comes back there. And I drew this little good one, putting the eyes up top. Not technically biologically accurate in the most cases, but I'm gonna go with it just because he's cute. And we're gonna do little circles for the eyes up top and fill in the eyes. And of course, the snail's mouth again, not up here. It's kind of down bottom, but make the cute little smiley mouth because he's a happy little snail. The number 7, which should look... Alright, so we have this cute little dragon. Let's see if I can drag him down a little bit so you can see him, and I can go down a little tiny bit more. Stick them right there. So he looks backwards up there to you, but when I draw him, he'll be the right way around for you. So we're going to start with the nose. So just make a little curve and then like a big C, which is his mouth. Then I'm going to draw this chin. So it's almost like an S. So you can see this is the top of his head, and this is his back of his neck. Draw little eyes. So they're just 2 little half circles on the top of his head with dots in there for the pupils. Now I'm going to do an upside down U shape right here. So that's his top part of his leg. I'm going to draw it a little bit longer on this side near his back of his neck or his backbone. And we're going to make a straight line out and then connect like that for his foot. So for those of you who've been following along with the series, we're getting a little bit harder now with the numbers 7 and 9 in particular, and 8's not too bad. But as we've progressed along through the numbers, they're getting a little bit trickier to draw. So, you know, you're getting used to it now. You should be doing all right. So we are going to put the belly next. So that's just a curved line connecting the chin to his foot. So of course, a dragon has to have tail, or dinosaur, either one. So I'm just going to make a tail on the back end. And I'm going to give him little arms, which is why I'm calling him dinosaur, because it reminds me of a T-Rex, because he only has little short little arms. And another one right here. And I'll put his claws or his fingers there. So that is our basic shape of the dinosaur, or the dragon. Now some details to make it look more dragon-like. So I'm going to do some lines on his belly. Then I'm going to just put a straight line down between his chin and the top of his leg. So this is his neck and face, and this is his belly. And it looks a little bit like the Cookie Monster right now, the googly eyes and the nice open mouth looking for cookies, but unlike the Cookie Monster, our dragon or dinosaur has some teeth. So I'm just doing little V's. So as many or as few teeth as you can fit into his mouth works. And we are going to put the scales onto his neck and tail. So these again are just little V's. And on his tail. And one final detail is he would have a hole there for his nose. And of course the other hole for his nose would be on the other side that we can't see. So we're just going to do one hole there, and we have Mr. Dragon. Now it's pretty simple to do. So I just did a small circle and a larger circle and just made them touch. Right. Now I'm going to move the paper around because this little ladybug is on her side. So ladybug shells have spots on them. So I'm going to draw one other circle right in the middle. And then I'm going to do partial circles on the sides. And the back of the ladybug is actually her wings. So I'm going to draw a line down the center. I'm going to skip the middle circle. Okay, and just draw that. And of course this is a happy little ladybug, so we're going to give her some eyes to see with and a big happy smiley face. And a couple of little antennas by just drawing little lines and little tiny circles on the top. And of course ladybugs do have legs, and they have 6, so 3 pairs of legs because it is an insect. So again, not a spider, so 1 pair. It's just like little L's. And on the back ones, I'm just going to make them go the other direction. That really is that simple. Like I said, ladybug. Last but not least, we have our number 9. So all I did was more of an oval kind of shape, and then the straight line down. So this round ovally shape is going to be the giraffe's head. So we're going to start there. We're going to put some big eyes on the giraffe. I'm going to fill in the pupils like that this time, a little bit looking to the side. Now giraffes have a little bit of a snout color differentiation going on, so I'm going to just do a little semicircle there. Make it look a little bit more like the snout. And 2 little dots for the nose and a nice smiley face. Now giraffes have 2 ears, of course. And 1 over here. They also have 2 little horns that are in the top of their head. So I'm just going to do 2 stalks and 2 little round circles on the top. Of course, giraffes have long necks. So we're going to do the rest of the neck coming down. Now we're going to make the body. So we're just going to go out around the back and then come down. So that would be his back and his back legs. And I'm going to come straight over. Before I do anything else, I'm going to make a little tiny mark here because that's basically his 2 legs. Then I'm going to go up and over to right about where the neck is. I'm going to come down and make 2 more legs and then connect the front part up. Do that little line in the middle again. So I'm going to do little half circles on the bottom of each leg. That's his hooves, because they have hooves, very similar to horses or cows. And a couple final more details is they have this cute little tail. I'm going to make his tail like that. And of course they have a mane on the back of their neck, also similar to a horse. Not as much fur, but or hair, but I went all the way down just because. And what do giraffes have that not a lot of other animals have? They have spots, so we're going to make spots, and we're going to do full spots, and we're going to do half spots wherever we feel like. And they don't all have to be the same size or shape. Those, I'm going to stick one little one there. Now they do have spots on their head, but we don't have a lot of space there, so we're not going to put any spots on this cute little giraffe.